It is a tiny difference, about 38 microseconds a day. 38 million.
Hello, and welcome back to the Sleepy Academy. You have arrived at your sanctuary for rest, a quiet corner of the digital world dedicated entirely to your peace of mind and the heaviness of your eyelids. If you are new to our academy, know that this is a safe space designed to help you let go of the day's burdens, to unwind your thoughts, and to drift gently into deep, restorative sleep. Tonight, we have a very long, very tranquil journey ahead of us. We are going to explore a landscape of pure relaxation, taking our time with absolutely no rush to get anywhere at all. Before we begin this extended voyage into slumber, I have a small request. If you find comfort in these long-form sleep sessions and appreciate the calm we try to create here, please take a moment to gently tap the like button. It helps other weary souls find this sanctuary. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the Sleepy Academy so you always have a soft place to land each night. Now, make yourself completely comfortable. Adjust your pillows. Feel the weight of your blankets. Close your eyes and let us begin. Chapter 1. The Great Illusion of Stillness. Tonight, we are going to embark on a journey that requires no movement from you at all. In fact, the very essence of our story tonight begins with the profound comfort of lying still. Let your shoulders drop away from your ears. Unclench your jaw. Let the heaviness of the day sink into the mattress beneath you. Feel the quiet stability of the room, the solid ground of the floor, the unmoving silence of the air around you. It feels permanent, doesn't it? This stillness. It feels as though you are anchored in a safe, motionless harbor. But this feeling, this wonderful, heavy calm, is perhaps the greatest and most beautiful illusion the universe has ever conjured. While you lie there, perfectly still, you are actually traveling at speeds that defy imagination. You are a passenger on a vessel so large and so smooth that you cannot feel its engines. At this very moment, the room you are in, the building that shelters you, and the ground beneath the foundation are spinning. The earth is turning on its axis, carrying you through the dark at over 1,000 miles per hour. That is faster than the speed of sound, faster than a jetliner cruising at high altitude. But the journey doesn't stop there. While the earth pirouettes in the dark, it is also sailing along a vast elliptical river around the sun. In this orbit, we are rushing forward at nearly 67,000 miles per hour. And even beyond that, our entire solar system, the sun, the planets, the moons, and the distant comets, is drifting together around the center of the Milky Way galaxy at nearly 500,000 miles per hour. We are racing through the cosmos. We are spinning, orbiting, and drifting all at once. It is a chaotic ballet of immense energy. And yet, look at the water in a glass on your nightstand. It is perfectly flat. Listen to the air in the room. It is perfectly silent. Your breath does not tremble. Your heartbeat remains steady. We are hurtling through the void, yet we feel as though we are frozen in a block of amber, safe and untouched. Why? How can something move so fast and yet feel so incredibly peaceful? Tonight, we drift into the heart of that mystery. We will explore the physics of this silence and uncover why the universe, in all its wild motion, has designed a pocket of calm just for us. To understand this,
we must first appreciate the sheer scale of the motion we are ignoring. Imagine, if you can, looking down at the Earth from high above the North Pole. You would see the planet turning counterclockwise, a slow, majestic rotation. If you are near the equator, perhaps in Singapore or Ecuador, the surface of the world is carrying you a distance of 24,000 miles every single day. You are traveling the entire circumference of the world every 24 hours, without taking a single step. If you are further north or south, perhaps in London or New York, you are spinning, slightly slower, but still moving at hundreds of miles an hour. Yet nothing rattles. The plates in the cupboard do not shake. The birds resting in the trees are not thrown from their branches. This stability is a gift of physics, specifically a concept known as inertia, first described by Isaac Newton in the 17th century. Newton realized something profound about the nature of reality. He realized that motion itself is not what we feel. We only feel changes in motion. We feel acceleration. We feel deceleration. We feel the bump in the road or the sudden drop of an elevator. But we do not feel velocity itself. Think of being on a high-speed train, one of those sleek, magnetic marvels that glide over the rails. When the train is traveling at a constant speed, say 200 miles per hour, and the track is perfectly smooth, you can pour a cup of tea without spilling a drop. You can stand up and walk down the aisle. You can close your eyes and believe you are sitting in your living room. The motion is uniform. You, the tea, the air inside the train, and the seat you rest on are all moving together in perfect unison. There is no resistance, no friction against your skin, no sudden jolts to remind your inner ear that you are traveling. The Earth is the ultimate high-speed train, but its tracks are the vacuum of space, smoother than any rail ever built. There is no air outside our atmosphere to create drag. There is no friction in the void to slow us down. And because gravity holds the atmosphere tightly to the planet's surface, the air moves with us. The wind doesn't blow at 1,000 miles an hour because the air is a passenger, just like you. It is a seamless, eternal glide. This phenomenon is the reason our ancestors, for thousands of years, believed the Earth was stationary. When early humans looked up at the night sky, they saw the stars moving, wheeling overhead in a great dome. It felt intuitive to believe that we were the center, the unmoving stage upon which the universe performed. It took immense imagination and mathematical courage to realize that it was the stage itself that was turning. This constant, smooth rotation is a kind of lullaby. It is a rhythm so steady that biology has evolved to ignore it. Our inner ears, those delicate instruments of balance, are designed to detect the lurch of a stumble or the sprint of a hunt. They are tuned to the immediate, small-scale movements of survival on the surface. They were not built to detect the grand cosmic rotation of the planet itself. We are simply too small, and the Earth is too large. We are ants walking on a spinning carousel that is thousands of miles wide. The curve is too gentle, the turn too vast for our senses to register. But just because we cannot feel it, doesn't mean we cannot see it. If you know where to look, the spinning of the world reveals itself in the most quiet and elegant ways. In 1851, a French physicist named Léon Foucault decided to make this invisible motion visible. He didn't use a telescope or a rocket. He used a pendulum. Imagine a high, vaulted ceiling, like the dome of the Pantheon in Paris. Foucault suspended a heavy brass sphere from a wire more than 200 feet long. He pulled the bob back and released it, letting it swing back and forth in a slow, hypnotic rhythm. According to simple intuition, the pendulum should have continued swinging in the exact same line forever. But it didn't. As the hours passed, the crowd, watching in hushed silence, noticed something extraordinary. The path of the swing was slowly rotating. Minute by minute, the pendulum seemed to be twisting its direction, knocking over little pins that had been set up in a circle on the floor. But here is the secret. The pendulum wasn't changing its path. The pendulum was swinging true, obeying the laws of momentum. It was the floor that was twisting. The building, the city of Paris, the crowd of spectators, and the very ground beneath them were slowly rotating under the swinging weight. The Foucault pendulum allows us to watch the Earth turn. It is a clock that uses the planet as its gears. If you stand before one of these pendulums in a quiet museum today, you can lose yourself in the motion. Back and forth, back and forth. Each swing takes time, and in that time, the world beneath your feet moves just a fraction of a degree. It is a meditation on planetary motion. It reminds us that our stillness is only relative. We are riding a giant gyroscope, stable and relentless. This rotation does more than just confuse our senses. It protects us. It is the architect of our days and the guardian of our atmosphere. Imagine if the Earth did not spin. One side of our world would face the sun eternally, baking under a ceaseless noon, the oceans boiling into steam, the land scorched and barren. The other side would be locked in an endless, frozen night, where temperatures would plummet far below zero, and the atmosphere would condense into ice. But the spin, this gentle 24-hour rhythm, mixes the light and the dark. It distributes the warmth. It allows the plants to photosynthesize and then rest. It creates the winds that carry rain to the forests. It drives the ocean currents that regulate the global climate. The spin is the heartbeat of the planet's weather system. And deeper still, thousands of miles beneath the crust you are resting on, the spin is doing something even more vital. The Earth's core is a ball of molten iron, and because the planet is rotating, that molten iron swirls and churns. This churning creates a dynamo, a massive electrical generator that projects a magnetic field far out into space. This magnetic field is an invisible shield. It catches the dangerous radiation from the sun, the solar wind, and deflects it, guiding it harmlessly toward the poles where it blooms as the northern and southern lights. Without our spin, the core might settle, the shield would fade, and the atmosphere that allows you to breathe so softly right now would be stripped away by the solar storm. So, the rotation is not just a motion, it is a survival mechanism. It is the engine that keeps our world alive. As we drift deeper into this realization, we must expand our view. This tendency to spin is not unique to Earth. It is, in fact, the default state of almost everything in the universe. Look at the sun. It appears to be a static ball of fire, but it too is spinning, completing a full rotation roughly once a month. Because it is a ball of gas, it spins differently at its equator than at its poles, twisting its magnetic fields into knots that occasionally snap and release energy. Look further, to the stars twinkling in the velvet dark. Every single one of them is spinning. Some, like our sun, spin lazily. Others, The remnants of dead stars, known as pulsars, spin at mind-bending speeds, rotating hundreds of times every single second, faster than a kitchen blender, beaming light across the cosmos like frantic lighthouses. And bigger still, the galaxies. Our Milky Way is a majestic spiral, a pinwheel of stars and dust. It is not sitting still in the void. It is turning. It takes our solar system about 230 million years to complete one lap around the galaxy. The last time the Earth was in this position in the galaxy, dinosaurs were just beginning to rise. The continents on Earth were shaped completely differently. We have been traveling around this galactic carousel for eons, and we will continue to do so long after tonight. Why does everything spin? Why is the universe so restless? The answer lies in the very beginning of things, in the clouds of dust and gas that birthed the stars. When a cloud of cosmic dust begins to collapse under its own gravity, it never falls inward perfectly evenly. There is always a little clump here, a little drift there. As it shrinks, that slight imbalance turns into a rotation. And just like an ice skater pulling her arms in to spin faster, the collapsing cloud accelerates. By the time a star is born, the spin is locked in. By the time the planets form from the leftovers of that star, they inherit that spin. It is a conservation of energy, a memory of the motion that created us. The rotation of the Earth tonight is a fossilized movement, a relic from 4.5 billion years ago, when the solar system was nothing but a swirling whirlpool of potential. So, when you lie in bed and feel the stillness, you are actually feeling a perfect balance. You are feeling the result of billions of years of smoothing out. You are feeling the harmony of physics. There is a quote by the astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson that captures this feeling beautifully. He said, "We are on a space rock that is orbiting a star, that is orbiting a galaxy, that is moving through the universe, and we call it home." Home. That is what this motion is. It isn't chaos. It isn't a roller coaster that you need to brace yourself against. It is a cradle. The forces of gravity and inertia have conspired to create a pocket of tranquility for you. They hold the atmosphere down so you can breathe. They keep the ground solid so you can sleep. They spin the world so you can have the cool of the night to rest and the warmth of the day to live. The illusion of stillness is the universe's way of letting life flourish. If we felt every mile of our speed, if we felt the lurch of the orbit or the drag of the galaxy, our minds would never settle. We would be perpetually dizzy, forever gripping the grass to keep from being thrown off. Instead, we are gifted with this sensation of permanence. As you breathe in slowly, appreciate the cleverness of this design. The air fills your lungs easily. The blanket rests heavy on your legs. The shadows in the room stay where they are. But in your mind's eye, you now know the truth. You can see the walls of your room not as static barriers, but as the hull of a great ship. You can visualize the stars outside your window not as fixed points, but as distant buoys passing by as we sail through the night. You are a traveler. Even when you are sleeping, you are exploring the galaxy. Even when you are dreaming, you are covering vast distances. There is no such thing as truly standing still. There is only moving together. And that is a comforting thought, isn't it? You don't have to do anything to move forward. You don't have to strive or push or plan. the universe is carrying you. It has been carrying you since the moment you were born, and it will carry you through this night until the sun rolls back around to greet you in the morning. So let go of the need to hold yourself up. Let gravity do its work. Let inertia smooth out the journey. You are safe within this great spinning illusion. The motion is steady. The path is clear. The engine of the world is humming so quietly that it sounds like silence. But this brings us to a deeper question. If we are moving, and the Earth is moving, and the galaxy is moving, how did it all start? If stillness is an illusion, where did the first push come from? If we looked back, past the birth of the Earth, past the lighting of the sun, all the way back to the very first moment of time, would we find a universe that was still? Or was it born spinning? As we drift further toward sleep, let us turn our minds backward, against the flow of time, to the moment when the first rotation began. That is where our next chapter waits for us, in the twilight before the stars. Chapter 2: The First Whisper of Motion. Now that we have settled into the gentle rhythm of our spinning world, let us let our minds drift free from the room you are in. Let us float upward, past the roof, past the clouds, past the quiet orbit of the moon. We are going to travel backward, not just in space, but in time. Imagine that we can rewind the clock of the universe. Watch as the days and nights flicker past like the pages of a book flipping in the wind. Watch as the seasons blur together, turning the green of summer into the white of winter, and back again in a single breath. We drift back past the history of humanity, past the rise of the mountains, past the drift of the continents. We see the earth dissolve back into a swirl of dust. We see the sun unspool into a cold, dark cloud. We see the galaxies unwind, their spiral arms loosening, drifting closer and closer together in the deep, velvet dark. We are traveling back billions of years, moving toward the single, silent point where everything began. We are looking for the origin of the spin. We are looking for the very first moment motion entered the universe. If you could stand at the threshold of the Big Bang, not with your eyes, for there was no light yet, but with your sense of presence, what would you feel? The classical idea of the beginning is often described as an explosion, a violent burst of fire and noise. But in the language of deep cosmology, in the equations that whisper the secrets of creation, it was perhaps something different. It was an unfolding, a blossoming. And the question that haunts physicists and dreamers alike is this: was that first moment still, or was it born spinning? To understand this, we must shrink down, smaller than a planet, smaller than a star, smaller than an atom. We must go to the scale of the Planck era. This is a slice of time so thin it is almost impossible to comprehend. A fraction of a second so brief that the laws of physics as we know them dissolve into mist. In this era, the universe was not a vast expanse of stars. It was a single, infinitely dense point of pure potential. In this tiny, hot seed of reality, there was no empty space. There was only energy. And according to the strange and beautiful rules of quantum mechanics, energy can never be perfectly still. Even in a vacuum, Even in the absolute nothingness, there is a jitter, tiny fluctuations, little ripples of existence blinking on and off like fireflies in a summer field. So, even before the universe technically existed as a place, there was a tremble, a vibration, a subtle, underlying hum of movement. Then, the great expansion began. Cosmologists call it inflation. In less than the blink of an eye, space itself stretched outward faster than the speed of light. It took that tiny, microscopic jitter, that quantum tremble, and stretched it across the canvas of eternity. It took the microscopic swirl and blew it up into the architecture of the cosmos. Imagine a painter throwing a single drop of ink into a flowing river. At first, it is just a dot, but as the water catches it, the ink swirls. It stretches into long, elegant ribbons. It curls into spirals. It becomes a complex, flowing pattern that covers the entire surface. That is what happened to the universe. The first spin was not a giant wheel turning. It was a tiny quantum twist that got caught in the wind of creation and was written into the very fabric of the sky. We can still see the ghosts of this motion today. When astronomers look at the cosmic microwave background, the faint, ancient light that is left over from the Big Bang, they see a map of the oldest light in existence. It looks like a mottled pattern of slightly warmer and slightly cooler spots. But when they analyze these spots deeply, they find something strange. They see a pattern, a subtle alignment. Some scientists call it the axis of evil, a dramatic name for a quiet mystery. It suggests that the ripples in the early universe weren't just random chaos. They were organized. They seemed to point in a direction. They seemed to suggest that the infant universe had a preference, a tilt, a spin. It is as if the universe, in its very first breath, decided to turn. Why is this so soothing to think about? Because it means that motion is not an accident. It means that the spinning of the Earth, the orbiting of the Moon, and the blood pumping through your veins are all continuations of a single, uninterrupted gesture that began 13.8 billion years ago. There is a rule in physics, a law that is as close to sacred as science gets: the conservation of angular momentum. It sounds technical, but it is actually very simple and very beautiful. It means that spin cannot be destroyed. It can only be shared. It can only be passed down like an heirloom from one object to another. Think of a figure skater on a frozen lake. She begins to spin slowly, her arms stretched out wide. She is catching the air, turning gently. Then she pulls her arms in tight to her chest. Suddenly, without pushing off the ice again, she spins faster. She becomes a blur of motion. She hasn't added any new energy. She has just concentrated the energy she already had. The universe is that skater. When the first clouds of hydrogen gas formed in the dark, they were vast and lazy, drifting slowly. But gravity began to pull them inward. As they collapsed to form stars, they pulled their arms in. They shrank. And because they shrank, that ancient, primordial momentum forced them to spin. Faster and faster the clouds turned until they ignited into stars. The leftover dust around them spun into flat disks, like potter's wheels made of stone and ice. And from those spinning disks, The planets rolled into existence like clay balls forming under the hands of a potter. So, when you ask, who set the universe spinning? The answer is, no one had to. The spin was there in the recipe. It was there in the first quantum unevenness. It was the price of existence. This leads us to a profound realization about perfection. We often think of perfection as something desirable, flawless, smooth, symmetrical, a perfectly still pond, a perfectly round sphere. But in the language of the cosmos, perfection is a trap. If the early universe had been perfect, if the energy had been distributed exactly evenly, smooth as a mirror, nothing would have ever happened. Gravity would have pulled in all directions equally. No stars would have formed. No galaxies would have swirled. The universe would have remained a cold, featureless fog forever. We are here tonight, breathing and dreaming, because of imperfection. We are here because of a broken symmetry. Physicists believe that in those first moments, the forces of nature, gravity, electromagnetism, the nuclear forces, were all one unified superforce, a perfect balance. But as the universe cooled, that balance broke. The forces split apart. The symmetry cracked. Imagine a pencil balanced perfectly on its tip. It is symmetrical. It looks towards all directions equally, but it is unstable. Eventually, a breath of air, a tiny vibration, causes it to fall. It chooses a direction. That fall is symmetry breaking. The universe fell. It chose a direction. It chose matter over antimatter. It chose time moving forward instead of backward. And it chose to spin. That tiny flaw in the perfection is what allowed gravity to start clumping things together. It allowed the texture of reality to become lumpy and interesting. It allowed the galaxies to form their great spiral arms. It allowed the Milky Way to dance. So, if you ever feel like your life is a little off balance, a little imperfect, a little restless, take comfort. You are just echoing the fundamental nature of creation. To be alive is to be slightly off balance. To be in motion is to be imperfect. Stillness is for the void. Movement is for the living. Scientists today are still hunting for the final proof of this first rotation. They are looking for something called B modes, twists in the polarization of the oldest light. If they find them, it'll be like finding the fingerprints of the Big Bang's first pirouette. It would prove that space-time itself was twisted by the violence and the beauty of that first expansion. But we don't need a telescope to feel it. We can see it in the way water drains from a sink. Though that is mostly the shape of the basin, it reminds us of the vortex. We see it in the shape of a nautilus shell. We see it in the curl of a fern leaf unfurling in the spring. We see it in the shape of a hurricane seen from space, a majestic white spiral over the blue ocean. Nature loves the spiral. Nature loves the turn. It is the most efficient way to pack energy into a small space. It is the shape of growth. Even the darkness between the stars might be spinning. Dark matter, that invisible substance that makes up most of the mass of the universe, forms vast halos around galaxies. These invisible clouds are rotating too, holding the visible stars in their gravitational embrace. We are floating in a sea of invisible, turning giants. And deeper still, inside the atoms that make up your pillow, your sheets, and your own skin, the spin continues. Electrons are not little planets orbiting a nucleus, not exactly. They are clouds of probability. but they carry a property that physicists literally call spin. It is intrinsic to them.
An electron cannot stop spinning any more than it can stop being an electron. If it stopped, it would cease to be what it is. This means that at the bedrock of reality, at the tiniest pixel of existence, there is no such thing as still. There is only a vibrating, rotating energy. You are built of spinning blocks. As we lie here, letting this history wash over us, we can change our perspective on the night. The darkness of the room is not empty. It is filled with this ancient, angular momentum. The gravity holding you to the bed is the result of the Earth's mass, which gathered together because of that primordial rotation. The air you breathe is kept near the ground because of the spin. The very flow of time, which we will explore later, is entangled with this motion. The universe did not learn to move. It was born moving. It didn't have to be pushed. The push was the beginning. So, let your mind drift back to that first image. The single drop of ink in the river. The flower unfolding. The universe expanding in a great, silent breath. Feel that expansion in your own chest. Inhale slowly, and imagine space stretching out, creating room for stars and worlds. Exhale slowly, and imagine the galaxies settling into their slow, rhythmic turns. You are not just a tiny observer on a rock. You are the result of the universe's desire to dance. You are the stillness at the center of the turn. As we move forward in our story, we must ask, what did this spin actually create? We know it made the stars. We know it made the galaxies. But did it do something even more delicate? Did this great, violent, cosmic rotation somehow conspire to create the fragile, soft, breathing thing that is life? Could it be that the rotation of the Earth is the only reason we are here to think about it? The Earth spins and the winds blow. The Earth spins and the tides rise. The Earth spins and the magnetic shield hums. As you drift deeper into relaxation, let us prepare to look at our own home. Let us prepare to see how the great turn became the architect of the air, the ocean, and the dream. That is where we will go next. But for now, just feel the motion. Smooth, constant, eternal. You are safe in the spin.